What's up, mi gente? Catriel Cesar Fadi here, also known as Nerd Gone Rogue, and I am so excited to do this one quick video with you because it's literally just about how to figure out what to create an online course on or about. I've been teaching now for a little over 7 years, right? Teaching is something that I'm so passionate about because not only do I get to learn, but I get to share that. I get to learn with you. And I think that that's an important thing that's helped me so much, and here's why. It has taken away that like pomp and circumstance, and it's definitely made it a lot easier to put together more curriculum. What I started to seek out was ways to really audit what's going on around me, ways to actually do something about it and find loopholes. Okay, so that's what this is about. And in fact, it makes you a better teacher because you actually get to share stuff with the people that they will not find on Google. They can't just take your course and clickety clack clack and feel like, oh look, that's where he got it from. Because I'm adding my secret sauce, I'm adding myself, my personality, and my mistakes. Pros and cons there. Um, so without further ado, let's get right into it. So how do you figure, how to create an online course, right? So I actually, in my Rogues membership, I did break it down for those members, but this is for you, someone who's watching that is not a part of the membership. I will be including this video in their membership, of course, because why not? Why waste this content? So without really racking your brain too much, like don't think too much, just for a second, keep it simple, stupid, right? Look at what people constantly ask you to explain to them, right? So I have stuff that I never shut up about. That's because that's what I love talking about. Does that mean that all my questions are about that? No. Like I love growth hacking. I love creativity, creatives. I love loopholes. I love, you know, all this other stuff that, but guess what? So when I get a question about how do I help my restaurant, how do I, do this, how do I do that? It's good to pay attention to what I'm being asked. And an example of that is, okay, in the past week, right, when I'm creating my content, I looked at what is the pattern of these questions. One most recently that came up was they all had in common was brick and mortar businesses, right? Things have hit the fan, people are worried. So of course it's natural. So I noticed, oh wow, I have a lot of brick and mortar businesses. So brick and mortar businesses are retail, right? For the most part, and food. So what did I do? The first thing that touched my heart was the food industry. So I made something on the food industry, things that I'd done in the past, my ideas on it, and something that they can try. Okay, so you do the same. Look at what people are constantly asking you, about. Maybe you're really fashionable, so people are gonna ask you like, where do you shop? How do you shop, etc. Take a note of that. It's a really good rule of thumb. Um, excuse me. Two or three things that you notice. What are the top questions you get? Very important. Number two is consider where you spend a lot of your free time or what you do in your day job. And the reason I say that specifically is because I am a huge lover of side hustles, right? So even if I were to have a job tomorrow, let's say, corporate America opened the doors to me, um, I would actually look at what am I doing on my day job? And is this something I love? Yada yada yada. I don't have to love it, but if I'm really good at it, then why not use that to profit to then finance my what I call fuck you money lifestyle. So that's another thing. It's really take some time. What are you doing in your day job? Can it be automated? Can you teach it, right? With some gusto. The free time part is also really good because, for example, with me, right, I'm dealing with a personal brand here. I'm dealing with other personal brands. So it's important to give it that livelihood, that touch, that personality to it, right? With that, yes. Where am I spending most of my free time? I love reading. I love researching. I love exploring. I love traveling. I can keep going on, right? But it's not that I just love these things. It's the things that I'm proactively doing. I'm constantly cooking. I love whiskey. I love weed. I love, I can keep going on. And guess what? I've tried things out in each of those arenas. In cannabis industry, I've had a lot of success. I got my coffee up in Times Square. I got my line of CBD that I helped create. It got it in Nordstrom and Dillard's and all these places, in Erewhon in California. So again, that all stemmed from where am I spending the most of my time? Let's roll with that. Another thing to look at for you is evaluate evaluate what's online. Okay, if someone remember that list of stuff that you annotated. This is what people ask me about. where would people normally go to learn from it? So in my scenario for growth hacking, right? Something that I love talking about, never shut up about. I love it. So cool. So if someone were to learn growth hacking, what would they do? And I would then go on websites and courses and stuff like that and see what's available for growth hacking, for branding, for growth, for creatives, etc. And I'm trying to learn, what people are being exposed to, what are their options, okay? And that's very important because one, you don't want to reinvent the wheel if it already exists, and because this is a common thing. Oh, I want to teach that, but there's so many of that out there. Cool. And here's why it's cool. I was just talking to someone, amazing, talented young entrepreneur, right? She has a brick and mortar business, but she wants to expand, she wants to scale. So when she told me, I want to teach people on productivity, uh, there's so many of them out there though. What do I do? Or yada yada. The first thing I ran her through is an exercise where it's to remind her, one, you're not everyone else. Two, there's no originality, right? Already. So why not? Why exclude yourself from opportunities and conversations? And what we ended up coming up with is this is her journey. This is the way that she discovered to be more productive, and here's what she's sharing with you. So that way she doesn't have to worry about catering to 50 million people. She only has to worry about catering to people like her or that think a lot like her. So, and to recap really quickly as we were rounding this off, so how do you figure out what your course is going to be about? Number one, you're going to look at and write down what people are coming to you for advice, right? If they ask you for astrology, productivity, yeah, write that down. You start to figure out why they're coming to you. You could go into notes. Number two, consider where you're spending the most of your time today, your free time, right? If you're reading a lot, cool, that's something to talk about. Maybe you could start a book club. Um, if you're really good at cutting hair because it's something you like doing, that's something you're doing in your free time. You're selling your hair, selling your friend's hair, your significant other's hair. Please remember that. What do you do in your day job? Is it something that you're good at that can be replicated? Replicate it. And last but not least, number three, evaluate what's available already out there, right? And see how you can add your flavor to it. It's so important. Stop looking for these gaps. I tend to remind people you can't just always find one. Sometimes you gotta make one, and that applies here too. Evaluate what's available online for people that are trying to learn something similar, because very often, right, there's something missing. Very often, they don't think like the instructor. Think back to all of your favorite teachers. Right now, if I asked you who was your favorite teacher growing up, you know, if you have more than one, great, two, whatever. But you're always going to think of people that really resonated with you, that kind of got you. They delivered it in a way that really made an impact. Because we all learn in different ways, and I think that that's one of the biggest things that are overlooked by you, by creatives. And I say you because it is your responsibility to keep growing as a person, but more than anything, please remember that if you're really honest about I want to do this, I want to do that, give back. Okay? Put this all together, get to work, let me know how it works. Please remember, escape average. And of course, create, don't compete. Stay blessed, muchachos.